watching News 3 at 6 on KBTX.
A new director has been appointed for the George H.W. Bush Presidential Library and Museum.
Dawn Hammatt will be serving in this role at the beginning of the new year. She joins us this evening to talk about taking over as director. Dawn, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you for inviting me. Delighted to be here.
You have served in museums your entire career. Tell us more about your journey leading up to taking over as director at the George H.W. Bush Presidential Library and Museum.
Sure, I have had my entire career in museums, mostly in the Southeast, in Louisiana and Mississippi and South Carolina. I was hired by the National Archives to be the director of the Eisenhower Presidential Library in Kansas. I've been here for 6.5 years, and I'm ready for the challenge of George Bush. It's going to be so exciting.
Warren Finch retired last year, so you're coming in. They're big shoes to fill. How do you think your time as director of the Eisenhower Museum has helped to prepare you for this next step in your career?
Well, the good news is that I know Warren. He's a great man, and we spoke today, as a matter of fact. So I'm sure that I can lean on him when I need his expertise and his support. But the Eisenhower Presidential Library and the Bush Presidential Library are a little bit different based on the timeline of the presidency. So this is going to be new for me in a more modern presidency, but I'm really excited that we have such a wonderful group of people who work there already who can help me transition from a 50-year-old administration to a modern administration.
You mentioned the museums are different. Are there any aspects that you hope to bring from your former job to your new one?
Sure. One of the things that I'm really very passionate about is public history, where the scholarship meets the general public. And that moment, that spark, is what I'm absolutely interested in. And how do we do that? We do that through exhibits. We do that through lifelong learning educational opportunities. So to be able to help develop educational programs, civics education programs, I'm really excited to be a part of that in College Station.
Ms. Hammatt, I don't know how much you can share with us, but I'm curious to know, was this position something you reached out and applied for, or did the National Archives reach out to you? How did this come about?
I did not apply for it. I was asked to consider the position from the new archivist of the United States. I believe you guys have met the new archivist.
We have. She was here not too long ago.
She is amazing. She is creative. She is very smart. And she is starting to have some new ideas for the National Archives. So this may have been one of her, sparks of imagination, shall we say.
There are several ongoing projects to grow the George H.W. Bush Presidential Library and Museum. What are some of your goals stepping into this new role?
Well, I'm really excited about the new building that is being built right now and the opportunity to loan the Marine One from the Marine Corps Museum. Working through that's going to be pretty intensive at the beginning of this new role for me. And then hopefully what I'd like to do is assess our exhibit schedule. What do we need to do for our exhibit schedule? And frankly, very importantly to me is what do we need to look at and maybe reevaluate for our lifelong learning programs.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think your date starts December 31st, right? That's when you begin the new role. What are you most looking forward to coming here to Aggieland?
Well, I've never been there, and so I'm really excited. I've heard wonderful things about College Station in Bryan. I've heard wonderful things about Texas A&M. So just really getting into the community and learning about what makes the university tick, what makes the town tick, is going to be really exciting to me.
Well, it won't be long until you make your journey here. Dawn, thank you so much for taking the time to come on the show and talk with us ahead of that time.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Well, we'll be right back after the break.